morning, everybody. It's Theia, and welcome back to Garden Goddess Tarot. This morning I've got a quick little not really unboxing. I've unboxed already, but it's a walkthrough. We've got a walkthrough of a new deck to me that I got for my solar return this year. Little me present. It's the Tarot of the Fairy Folk. It's a kind of a curious little deck. It has lots of quirks and an interesting history. So, without any further ado, let's tuck in. Alright everybody, hi, it's Theia. How's it going? I've got a bit of a curious little Los Carabeo deck to go over today. Just for funsies, I thought today would be a good day. It was just my birthday a day or so ago. Woo woo, solar return. So, as any normal tarot faring person would do, I got myself a little present for my birthday, and I got a deck for myself, and I got this. I chose this one. I've been waiting for this one for a while, and I thought, hey, let's do it. So this is Tarot of the Fairy Folk. This is a classic Los Carabeo tuck box deck, which is, as we all know, my absolute favorite. Something about just the cardstock, the size, the little box, it just feels like tarot to me on like a very extremely sensory and visceral level. And that's entirely personal. Like, if you're a clamshell box person, if you like the two-piece boxes, if you like tarot decks and bags, like that might be your jam. But my jam is really these little tuck box decks by these little Italian tarot creators. It just feels so good. So this is it's kind of a funny story, this little deck. It's by, oof, again, my Italian is not ideal. Giacinto Gadenzi and Rachel Paul are the creators. I think the first fellow there is the artist per se. The other one wrote the book, but cannot be sure. Italian Los Carabeo deck comes in multiple languages and all that jazz. Just released though. Should be new. So I've been through the cards already. I don't necessarily like going in blind to walkthroughs, so we're gonna have a little, like a mini deep dive, not like a super deep dive, because it is just like a, you know, I'm not gonna say it's not a surface reader deck at all. Just from what I've experienced with it, like there's some little fun quirks and some things I want to clear up about it too that might confuse people. That I think are going to be interesting, but like it's not the Hermetic Tarot. I'll just say that. So yeah, we're gonna share. So get that out of the road. The book. Classic small Los Carabeo tuck box related book with a couple of languages. There's a little spread in the front, and then little words. No reversals meanings in it either, which is fine. Although the Los Carabeo books are very brief, like if you already know tarot, they're just like a little something else to chew on in your brain to go and like check if you're doing a reading, like, especially for yourself. You want a little bit of a different perspective. They're always, I don't know, I don't hate them. They're not extensive by any means. Like, I wouldn't suggest anyone learn tarot on them, but it's nice that they're there. Specifically, there is a bit of a history with this deck though, so this isn't the first time a version of this deck has existed, apparently. I thought it was brand new, but I was mistaken. It says here, yeah, this magical deck passed through several incarnations along the way to its current form. It was first illustrated by the illustrator under the supervision of Pietro Aligo as a 22 card deck, so majors only, with cards containing not traditional names, but rather keywords created by the creator. Later, the deck was expanded to 78 cards, with where numerals were pips in a Marseille style. So it would have been more of a traditional Marseille deck, and this is not a Marseille deck, but it is kind of a pippy deck, and you'll see as we get into that. Yeah, with the court cards and aces were fully illustrated. After this, the creator collaborated again to add illustrations to the minor arcana. So it's like, it's not fully scenic, but it's illustrated pips. It's not even soft scenic either, it's illustrated pips. And this version of the deck was given a new layout and instructions, which is the version you are enjoying today. Sweet time. So it's fun and cute, and that's just like a little brief preamble into the author creator's intent around the deck. So perfect classic Los Carabeo tuck box size. I don't even need to do a size comparison, you know. These are the backs. I think they're really sweet. They were a surprise to me. I didn't actually, this was one of the instances where I was like, ooh, love the concept. It's like with being a Fae deck, the art style, like the art that I saw really drew me in. It's that mature kind of Fae style, which we'll see once we get into the cards, but it's not the Victorian flower Fae. It's definitely like a more adult focused Fae style art, and you'll see as we get into the cards as well. But the backs were a surprise. I had no idea what the backs looked like when they came, so they're really quite sweet. I like them a lot. So there's borders. It's Pippi. I'll even zoom in for you. I also pulled out the Brian Froud Fairies Oracle to compare to it because it was like screaming to me like I want to work with these two decks together entirely. So I'm gonna pair that. Here's the Fool. How fun. Just, you can tell the art style is very rich and earthy, but it has a little bit more refinement and maturity to it than like a regular Victorian flower Fae. There's lots of symbolism on here too, like he's sitting on top of a turtle. That's cute. He's got his bindle and his hat, but otherwise fairly straightforward, but very beautiful. We got our magician here, our trickster, our sleight of hand, gone with kind of like, you can tell that the deck, one of the deck's first iterations was more of a Marseille style just because of the direction that this magician's going. There's some blackberries there. Fun. Lots of texture, depth, perfect for this time of year. Like this is entirely like screaming fall, late summer, cool breeze kind of weather to me. I love it. Here's the High Priestess sitting on a pumpkin, a squash, or a gourd of some sort. She's got her book, candles. She's making a religious gesture. So again, this harkens back to more of the Marseille style, the papesse, as opposed to our High Priestess, which is interesting. But she's cute. Love it. Here's the Empress, another sweet one. Yeah, so very, very Marseille style directions, positions as well, but beautiful. There's grapes there. Oh, they're rich and immersive. You just kind of want to jump into the world a little bit. Here's the Emperor. He's got a grasshopper. That's fun. Little turtle shell shield. Oh, they just have so much character. Like I want to write stories about all of these little Fae folk. Enjoy them deeply. There's the Hierophant. Kind of a almost sorcerer vibes here with this book and his little potions, like a maybe alchemist type of thing. He's got weird bird hands though. That's fun. And there's a little alembic. Is that what those are called? I forget. In the background. Alchemy though, alchemy is a very Hierophant move, come to think about it, being the earthly path to the divine and of trying to achieve enlightenment via the manipulation of physical things in alchemy. Then that's a very Hierophant move. Makes sense that it's on there actually. Here's the Lover. So here's another example of how you can see the more adult focused nature of this like Fae world. So there's two figures here embracing less clothes than one would expect, but you know, very adorable little Lover's card. Here we have the Chariot. It's a little cart pulled by mice through a absolutely enchanted woodland. Look at that. Oh, I want to be in this picture. This picture is beautiful. This one really like brings me back to my experience with the Duloc and the Rackham, and like it's got John Bauer vibes as well. Like I feel like these are very much in the same family of decks. Just really, really, you know, lean into storytelling and fantasy really well, and this otherworldly realm that's really quite excellent. So here we have the Justice card. Justice is at 8, so again, reflections of the Marseille roots, I believe, as opposed to like I wouldn't say it's a thought-based deck, but there is some very interesting things when we get to the courts, which we'll talk about. But I think these specific design choices were directly related to the Marseille style of the original deck. However, kind of a what's that guy's name? Is it Gulliver's Travels sort of situation? The Blue Bomber is awesome. Here's a hermit with his little oil lamp floating above him, and he's got little bifurcated hooves as well, which is interesting to see on the hermit card. And then an hourglass there, which is interesting. Kind of, but there's a bit of a Saturn vibe here, which is interesting because the hermit, as we know, is Virgo, so she's ruled by Mercury. But anyway, it's yeah, lots to think about there. But he's in his little cave looking out at the landscape with the scroll. Super cool. The wheel, very Marseille wheel with the chaos going around and around. People on top and people literally upside down, and like getting dunked in the water as the way around, kind of like a stone mill wheel as well. And then, you know, fate is there turning it. Fortuna specifically. Oh, so cute. Love that. Whimsy. Tiny fae people. Strength. I really like this. I don't know why. Sometimes I'm obviously very picky about strength cards just because it's my card. But I don't know, something about him just like wrestling this frog is everything. Look at him. It's like they're friends too. I don't know. I see so much in this card. It's amazing. It's a good frog eyeball too. Anyway, yes, so that's strength. 11. Our Hanged Man's a bit more morbid than we're used to as well. We've got some skulls. The Hangman is a bit worse for wear. Like, again, being a Marseille deck came from more of a trader perspective, probably, when it was originally illustrated. So, and you've got a bit of a serpent's tail coming out of his butt, too. This is so wild. And a little snake down here. And the under coming out of his hat. But yeah, that's really cool. And then Death. Again, like you'll see why I say this is definitely more of an mature adult focused Fae deck as opposed to like a soft and fluffy made for kids Victorian flower fairy situation. We got like a bone collector vibe here. He's got his little tongs picking up bones, collecting bones, and his hat says "Morst vita me." So yeah, life and death there. But oh yes, I love it. It's spooky. Spooky. It might give people the willies, but I like it. It's kind of fun. Stuff of nightmares, but like fun nightmares, you know? Temperance here is very interesting. Our little mermaid creature diving to the depths. So usually you've got like a bit of a battle, but this is a very watery temperance card as opposed to being a bit of both, so. She's one of the more curious ones, actually. I think when she comes up, I'd have to make a point to read temperance a little bit differently than I normally would. And here we have the star. I love how huge her head is. I don't know, something about the proportions of this just make me really happy. But, adorable. Gorgeous. Little fireflies, fairy lights floating around. Serene. Does the job. An excellent star card. Oh, it was definitely not in order. Whoops. Is it my first time putting a tarot deck back in order? My bad. I was like, hang on a second. The star, that's different. The devil. The devil is where we were supposed to be. And I do enjoy this one too. Again, the texture, the richness, the color tones. The art is phenomenal. I really like it. And we've got these two little pan-like creatures as our humans in bondage. And they're not really humans in this case, but little goat people. Perfect for the Capricorn card. I like it. It has everything I want. There we go. The tower. That's next. It's an anthill, which is nice. Not that the tower is nice, but something a little different than, you know, just a blasted tree or, you know, a lot of nature decks, they just immediately go with lightning hitting a tree, but this one is literally this, like, this anthill is erupting like a volcano, and the little ants are falling off the side. Oh, I love it. And she's riding a little, fish of the sea. Little creatures. I'm like, Chihuahua. No, that's not right. Chinchilla. She's riding a chinchilla. Or he. They. The ambiguous Fae folk is riding a chinchilla past an exploding anthill. Works for me. I like it. And again, our star, which we talked about, in its correct place. Here's the moon. Nice. Kind of spooky and mysterious. He's got a lantern too. What's he doing? He's like hitting it with a stick. There's a little snail. Huh, very curious scene. Almost Fool vibes too with the cliff right there. And then the sun. I like the sun too. He's happy. And Judgment. I really like Judgment. This was actually one of my first pulls with the deck. Instead of like a religious figure, an angel of some sort coming down from the sky to pull people out of their deaths, we've got more of an earthly focused being wandering around, conjuring things from the depths of the earth. It's almost like specifically like a springtime kind of card. So you see all the bare trees in the background, right? And then like the awakening the earth almost to new life, and who knows what other creepy things are going to be coming out of the ground. But it's definitely like that awakening or the call kind of Judgment card, instead of a card of like literal judgment, like being tested, as opposed it's more of an awakening or a call to something, which is fun. And the world here is kind of neat. There's this complicated maze where there's a bunch of little gnomes and creatures trying to navigate their way through, and then there's this other guy who's got himself a bird and is just flying right over top of it and can see things from a higher vantage point, can gain perspective of everything, can see how to get out, and sort of the completion aspect of the world is right there. So I like that. That's fun. The perspective's really good. And then we're going to move into our minor cards. So, as you may recall, I did mention that they are illustrated pips, basically, and you'll see. So, you can tell there's a little bit of RWS / Golden Dawn meanings to them. Like, they're definitely not Marseille. So, keep that in mind. But here's the Ace of Wands. A hand grasping a flaming torch. Perfect. No complaints there. Here's the Two of Wands. Taking aim. It's like there's little nods to the RWS meanings throughout the scenic sets, but for the most part, it's very simple. But there's a little character on each of them, which is a bit fun. On its own, if you're doing one card draws, these kind of decks are a little bit like, but in a big spread, they're great. I love these kind of pip decks when you're pulling like 15 cards, because it's just so easy to read. Well, there's our Four of Wands. Five. The Six. So you can see it's really like really stripped back to the point where it's incredibly vague what's actually going on. There's the Seven. Yeah, just in his posture, like you can see, he's kind of standing up for himself, taking the high ground, making a stance, kind of thing. You know, it's there, but you know, is it a stretch? I don't know. Eight of Wands. Nine. He looks a little battle worn, does he not? And the 10. It's nap time, I will say. Bit too much going on for that poor little guy. Okay, and here we have the courts. So, as we know, the pages are the earth of their suit. They don't have astrological associations, so they'll just be a expression of the element as a rule. So you'll see this guy, adorable, little adventurer. He's got a little fire going on. Love it. No complaints there for the Page of Wands. For the Earth of Fire. Lots going on there. It's great. But here, where I was going through, I'm like, hang on a second. Wait a minute. The Knight of Wands is not Scorpio. Excuse me. It's a fire card. What's a water card doing on there? But then I remembered, of course, the court cards astrological associations via Golden Dawn have actually, there's three. Each court card, like minus the pages, the Knights, Queens, and Kings, cover a 30-degree percentage of the wheel, much like the decans do, but they don't line up perfectly with the decans. So instead of that being a fully Sagittarius card on the Knight of Wands, there's a little 10-degree portion at the beginning of it. That's the another sign. So if we look at my lovely little chart here, so you can see the astrological signs for the Page of Wands is all of the signs that land in the season. So summer, Cancer, Leo, Virgo. But then over here, the Knight. There's our Sagittarius. That's what we're looking for when we automatically think of the Knight of Wands being fire, Sagittarius, right? Because he's mutable. The Knights are the mutable signs, and mutable fire is Sagittarius. But there's also a little 10 degree of Scorpio right there too, and that's why on this little fella, on his hat, we have a little Scorpio symbol. So that's why that's there. I would have preferred to see the more dominant Sagittarius come through, but it is like, because obviously the fire, it's really easy to remember the Sagittarius part, but the Scorpio is commonly and often forgotten, and that aspect of these cards are present. They're just often very much overlooked. So I guess in a way it's nice to remember that that little aspect of the Knight of Wands is there, but it is a Sagittarius and Scorpio card, which is why it's so crazy and out of control and so much fun. That's why he's a fuckboy, right? When he shows up. But anywho, so that being said, we move on to the Queen of Wands. Same situation. And actually, in some of them, I don't think she has them, but other ones are. There is little nods to the traditional astrological associations from her. So she's got a Pisces symbol on her neck here, which is, again, a little bit of water amongst this this wildfire is very interesting. But yeah, we can't, there's no Aries symbolism in this one, I don't think, but there is Leo symbolism in the Lion. But anywho, that's, yeah, so like her they've got Pisces written right on her there, and then if we go to our little thing, it's Pisces and then Aries, and Aries is the astrological for the Queen of Wands. So the courts kind of play themselves out like that in this deck. It's a nice little reminder of the other astrological associations of the cards. So, and then here for the King, it's Cancer, which is, oh my god, it's a Leo card. But there's a little lion on this little fire pot in the background. So there is like the traditional symbolism a little bit, but the symbolism right on it, the actual symbol is a Cancer symbol, which is a nod to the little 10 degrees of Cancer on top of the Leo there. So I won't go into too much detail as we go through the other ones, but that's just how the astrological associations in this deck kind of go, which is nice. And that leans away from kind of the Marseille tradition of the courts also. So the deck contains multitudes, let me just say. So anyway, moving right along. Ace of Cups. Hand of the universe, gift of emotional fulfillment, root of the power of water. Two of Cups, little lotus flower there, like to see it. Interesting that it's a figure with a mirror as well. That can be worked with quite a bit. Three of Cups. The 4. Very RWSy, that one. The 5, again, very RWSy here. The 6. The 7. Kind of leaning into that temptation aspect of the 7 of Cups. Bit of a siren figure. 8 of Cups. Walking away. Abandoned success. The 9 of Cups. Oh, fun fellow. 10 of Cups. And the Page of Cups. Instead of a fish, there's a little turtle. Love it. Just so whimsical. So full of enthusiasm. So here's a 9 of Cups, which would otherwise be our little Pisces friend, but we've got a bit of an Aquarius symbolism going on there as well. So, and he is leaping through the air on a dolphin too, so lots to work with. Queen of Cups here says Gemini instead of Cancer. She's beautiful. Love that. And then our King of Cups says Libra instead of Scorpio. And it's nice though, we've got the eagle. So their Scorpio is present in that one. It seems like the kings, the fixed signs seem to have their symbolism present on the card in one way or other. Like the little snake in his cup too, but yeah, just lots to chew on in a reading, is fun. Ace of Swords. Two of Swords. Three of Swords. Sorrow indeed. Four of Swords. Rest from strife. Five. The Six of Swords. The Seven. An ambiguous figure. Eight of Swords. The Nine. Again, these ones are really openly vague. Very, like, these ones almost lean into just pippiness, right? Like, I don't know. And then the 10. What the soul fire. And the Page of Swords is so cute! The little foxgloves as their hat. Love to see foxgloves in a Fae deck. Just feels right, you know? Knight of Swords. So Taurus instead of Gemini. Queen of Swords. So instead of Libra, we've got Virgo. There's a little bit of a harkening back to kind of Thoth imagery here as well, with the severed head on her lap. And the King of Swords here, who's got Capricorn instead of Aquarius. And you'll see he's, oh, is he the only one in a chariot? Hold on. I'm like, ooh, what is it? Must be. Oh, kind of. They're kind of on a throne, but the thrones are moving, right? What's the other guy? What does the King of Wands look like? He's on a throne. His throne is fixed. It's giving me, this one in particular is giving me Prince in Thoth deck vibes, which just reaffirms for me how I see the Knights and Kings in Thoth versus RWS decks. But anyway, he is seated and being pulled by little Fae, which is very like Prince of Swords in the Thoth deck as well. But anyway, super cool. And then Pentacles, there's the Ace, very beautiful with the roses, really like that. Two of Pence, little owl coin, thoroughly enjoy that as well. The Three of Pentacles, cheeky. Four of Pentacles, I do appreciate how the coins are all different in each of the cards, like between them, which is fun. And I kind of like the strategy. This is more of the Thothy power and strategy kind of slant of the Four of Pentacles, as opposed to just the like miserly hoardiness of the RWS that sometimes shows through, which I like. So having it as a chessboard is a nice perspective right there. Five. The Six. Little toy sack. A Seven of Pentacles. His food is yet to grow. He's hungry. He has to wait. Success is unfulfilled. Eight of Pentacles. The Nine. And the 10. Here's the Page of Pentacles, little sweetie. In Veritas, so in truth. What does the bottom say? In Veritas, Virtue, Monia. Anyway, very cute. It just says Albert there on the shield of the Knight of Pentacles, and there's a Leo sign there on the Knight of Pentacles, which is very different for me, but otherwise it's a Virgo card. There's our Queen of Pentacorns! Pentacles. With a Capricorn, there's a little goat right on the front there. There's some thistle imagery. It says Sagittarius right there, as well as the Sagittarius symbol. Nice. And our King of Pentacles. So you've got a little Aries sign, and it says Emperor on here as well. So that like leads back to the the Aries aspect of this Taurus card, but there is a bull on the back of his headrest in the background there. So both signs are present in their own little way, which I like, and that's really cool. So that is Tarot of the Fairy Folk. Where'd the backs go? New Lo Scarabeo, or I guess not super new, but like rehashed new deck by Lo Scarabeo. My little birthday deck for this particular solar return. But it's a fun one. So if you can wrap your brain around the Chaos That's the Court cards, and you don't mind extremely pippy pips, not extra, there's been pippier decks in the world, but it is a pip deck. If you don't mind that, you have a great time with this one. Yeah. Oh, I was going to pair it with the Brian Froud Fairies Oracle, wasn't I? Okay. Now that we've got everybody in, let's see how it goes. I don't know, I just feel like they're really similar kind of Fae energies, and a Fae deck that matches the energy of the Brian Froud Fairies Oracle is a treat, because like wouldn't I love a Brian Froud Fairy like tarot deck? That would be amazing. Like the Oracles are great, like would love to be able to get my hands on the other one too, but this will do for now. But they're just such a vibe. Let's reverse this in here. Yeah, no, this will be good. If we could get some not pips, that'd be fun though. Yeah, I like it. It's a good dynamic spread with a full range of like positive and negative, like different layers. It's not all just like surface and simple. It's a little deeper than that. Oh, it's beautiful. I like it. I'll also say as well, as I, you know, throw this together here, this is not going to be the most diverse deck ever. The Italian decks just, they tend to not be. So, and especially being a deck that has come, like, it's like a rehash of one that already existed, it's not going to carry with it any of the, like, new, more diverse ideas that are present nowadays. So just, it's a criticism that is valid, but it's also kind of a part of the way the deck was made and created. So if you're looking for a diverse deck, this isn't the one, but that does not detract from the value of this one whatsoever. It's definitely its own little thing, and it's wonderful for what it is. And oh, I like it. I think it's a wonderful little choice, and just fun, whimsical, very Fae, very late summer, early fall. I'll finish on that trio. That's a beautiful collection of cards right there. So yeah, that is Tarot of the Fairy Folk, the newish deck by Lo Scarabeo. And yeah. So thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I'll see all you fine people in my next video.